Hello, everyone. My name is JD Calderon, and this is Of Mice and
Wolves. Ow! This is the comic book workshop show where we will go through our guests' issues that they may be experiencing in the comic book industry, and we will help workshop through and make sure we can try and give them some answers and some actionable things before the end of the night. Without further ado, why don't we invite them on and tell them who they are and what they do.
What's going on, man? How you doing? My name is Matt Knowles, one half of Insymmetry Creations. We are currently in the process of running our 18th Kickstarter campaign for Tatsumi the Serpent Mistress #3. It has a guest appearance from the one and only Efren Ramirez. You know him as hashtag Vote for Pedro from Napoleon Dynamite, which is super awesome and super random, but it's actually pretty dang cool. So now I will cede the stage to the other guys that are here.
Hey, what's going on, man? I'm Mark Dudley. I'm 1/16th of Imaginos Workshop. We're a production company that does short films. We write screenplays. We drew comics and manga. We also do a lot of work for pen and paper role-playing games. You know, if it's art, visual art, written art, you know, we run the gamut.
Very nice.
Everybody better have a fraction tonight.
Hi, I'm Nicholas Doan. I'm 1/1 of Broken Oar Comics. I got peoples, but I'm a creator, writer, publisher of Broken Oar Comics, award-winning creator of Monster Elementary, and currently have the second book in my Misfit Island series on Kickstarter until 9 a.m. tomorrow.
Dun, dun, dun.
Good.
That means go back it now.
Now.
No.
Do it. Get to the chopper.
Yeah. Get in the chopper. Go to Misfit Island.
Chopper.
so Rob, do you want to explain the format of what we're doing here?
All right. For those of you who are just joining us for the first time, this show, we basically will ask our guests to give us their issue one at a time. And then we'll each go through and ask some clarification questions to figure out what they've already tried, what they are struggling with, to kind of make sure that we all understand what's going on with the situation. And then we will go through and we will offer up our answers, thoughts, and actionable items for them to take. So usually we do this clockwise. So Matt, that means you are first, sir.
All right, so my question absolutely does not follow the format, but I think it's something that's a good talking point for us all. Well, I mean, because it does. I mean, I was thinking about today, when you're marketing a project, do you go in with one marketing plan? Do you try to develop multiple marketing plans? Have you ever completely changed up your marketing plan if you felt it wasn't connecting with your audience? You know, my thought was, what have you guys done in those scenarios when you're like, hey, I'm marketing, you know, Wolfpack pups or something like that, and my marketing plan isn't working? Do you already have something else you're going to try? You know, if you've seen Tatsumi the Serpent Mistress, we've had some interesting stuff with this one because you've got the pirate side of things, which is where Tatsumi is at, and so I can market that way. We have the more horror-based stuff with the Dark Conquestors and Soul Rippers, and then having Efren from Napoleon Dynamite play a part in this one. I've been making some Napoleon Dynamite memes that none of those things have anything to do with one another, but I've been like, you never know what market you're going to pull from. Trying to think about like Coke, Pepsi, Budweiser, insurance companies, how many different angles they do. So that was just the talking point there, was like, what have you done, JD? What have you done, Rob, when you feel like, or have you been in a situation where like, yeah, my marketing plan isn't working. Let me try something different. And have you seen better results from a changed up marketing plan?
Fair enough. Mm-hmm. All right. Well, so since this is slightly different, does anybody have any kind of questions to kind of be able to better answer his question?
I know it exactly. I know where you're coming from. I get exactly where you're coming from, actually. Thing is, because when I was trying to market Judafist, I was trying to go for the sci-fi market, right? And it was kind of cool or whatever. And again, still people, it took a minute for people to get it, right? But they still wasn't getting. So I said to myself, I said, okay, that's one element of it. What's the other two elements? It's hip hop and Hong Kong cinema. Okay. So then I start focusing on the hip hop crowd, Hong Kong cinema crowd. And then I start to get a little more traction. So I really didn't go outside of where I was outside of the elements. I just focused on different elements in that particular genre, you know, or the different audiences that I was looking for anyway. You know what I'm saying? So I basically the sci-fi audience was one big shotgun, right? Thought I was gonna hit everybody, but turned out I didn't hit everybody, so I had to go and get a little more niche, and that helped me out a lot.
I can tell you right now, you saying sci-fi, and I was like, okay, and then you're like hip hop and Hong Kong cinema. I'm like, dude, you had me right there. I'm like, dude, I need to see this hip hop sci-fi stuff, man. Like that actually sounds pretty cool. That just goes to show that like marketing or putting things together you normally don't see be together. That's pretty cool.
Sure. And that's the thing though, because like even when I talk hip hop, I'm sure JD from New York City. JD know exactly what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not talking about rap. You know what I mean? I'm talking about hip hop culture. So, you know, yeah. So that's what I did, and that helped out a lot.
Nice. Nicholas, do you have anything that you've tried that worked and didn't work? Any lateral moves?
I mean, I find marketing for me is like a constant learning experience because there's so much that doesn't work. The thing I found working lately is contacting people directly, like going direct to people, sending them a message. And actually, one that I thought was really good is a friend of mine has a campaign running right now, and he sent out emails to people with a piece of art from the comic, and putting that individual person's name into the dialogue, saying, you know, Nick, we need your help. And I thought that was funny and clever. So that's a good one. I actually was just at an event this weekend and spent like a good half hour talking to a guy that works in comics marketing, picking his brain so that I know what to do next time, because marketing is definitely something that doesn't make sense to me. And it's you know, there are some things that are like natural to you, right? And you just do it and it makes sense.
Sure.
And there are some things that you're like, I have to put the hamster physically on the wheel and make them run so that I can figure this out and piece it together. And that's marketing for me.
Yeah, I mean, that's just it too. Like even for people who like do marketing for like a living, and then like they go to do it for something for themselves, they forget the basics.
Sure.
Sometimes, you know, and then they're like, "Oh yeah, I should have done that. Why didn't I do that? I know that I should do." You know, but
And I don't think marketing even makes sense. It's you do the same thing you did last time and it doesn't work. So you do something that didn't work last time and it works.
So think of it this way. So you look at Coca-Cola, right? Matt brought Coca-Cola up a little bit ago. That company has been marketing to all of us since before we were born, right? But yet they spend dollar after dollar after dollar, like, and we know they exist. We know they're there, right? We didn't forget Coke existed, but yet they're still bombarding us, right? And that's kind of like the thing with marketing is that you could see something 100 million times, not really register it because you're either busy or doing whatever, but like eventually you kind of get that recognition, you know, when you actually see something and it clicks and you're like, oh, I did want to check this out or something, you know. A lot of it is about repetition, whether it works one time or another or not. I mean, we still get people coming to us after the campaigns end, right? I mean, I'm not the only one who sees that happen, right? Because like the algorithms show things a week later or whatever. So like, it's just a matter of like, you know, when it finally clicks to somebody who, or, you know, in other times too, it's like, okay, I want this thing, but we're putting expensive books on Kickstarter, right? So like, we're not marketing the average $5 floppy to the, you know, the average audience. We also were we kind of like upping that fee with, you know, the additional with the shipping, the tchotchkes, and all the other stuff that they're getting. So we're kind of selling a premium product in a manner to people. So they're, if they want it, sometimes they have to wait till the next time. And I mean, I've had people come back and say, hey, I couldn't do it this time, but I jumped on and got everything this time, you know? So it's like, you know, it's not that they don't see you. You just got to keep hitting that drum, you know, and keep banging it and just don't get frustrated.
Well, and I think too, that another thing that plays a part, like you're saying, Nicholas, is you might do exactly the same thing, but the two major factors that you can't control are what's happening in the economy that you can't do anything with. You know, you can't control whether or not there might be a war that gets started, or gas prices might go up, or food might cost 5 times as much. You also can't control the number of other like campaigns that are on the platform at the same time. And I think that plays a part too, because, you know, there are certain times a year where there's less campaigns, certain times a year where there's more. You might launch a campaign and be like, holy crap, there's 8 other books that are almost identical umbrella wise and fit in the same umbrella as mine. Now I've got to go compete against those other eyeballs. You also might launch.
That's the thing, though. Sometimes that's actually a benefit. If you have those 8 projects and you actually take the initiative that all 8 of you are cross promoting each other, and people are all interested in that same kind of like genre, if you will, and you're doing it right, when you're cross promoting, everybody wins.
Yeah.
You know, like, so I think people also forget about that.
Yeah.
When it comes to you have to reach out and be a part of the community.
Right.
And,
Exactly. Yeah.
you like have to see Kickstarter as a community. You can't in a venue, right? You gotta like work with people. You know, like think about it this way: when you're going to a music event, and I know half of us in here got involved in music at one point or another, right? When you're promoting a band show or whatever, you know, you got to get out your street team out there. You got to get them flyers out there, let people know that this is what's happening at this venue, right? They're not going to come to see an unknown band if, you know, especially if they don't even know they exist or that they're at this place, right? So you got to get your butt out there and you got to work. You got to work with other people, work with the other bands that you're playing with, right? You know, like especially if you're taking turns at each other's home turf.
See, one thing I'm experimenting with, I'm just in the throes of planning it out. Because I come from a hip hop background, I'm gonna start doing what they used to do back in the days, and that was I'm gonna start employing some street teams, and I'm gonna employ them around con season in places where I know that, you know, geek culture thrives. You know, I gotta send people out to different comic shops or whatever, and come out with the dope flyer. I'm gonna do that. You know what I mean? Because even if they don't carry my books, I could care less. The flyer gonna be in.
That's just it. The other thing too is like, we can talk about our own stuff till we're blue in the face, right? Everybody has heard us talking. Other people talking about our books and how good it is, that's a big thing, because then when people hear other people talking about, you know, your story, that's legit, right? That's like coming from somebody else that isn't even involved in the project. And they're like, oh, I got to check that out. Word of mouth is big. If, you know, you just got to make sure that, you know, reach out to your backers and be like, hey, you know, would you mind giving me a pull quote? Let me know what you thought, right? How many of you actually have your quotes from your readers on your page?
Right.
Rob, there's a phrase that you just said, which is I've lived by since I was a teen, and that's people want to hear about a band, not from a band. And
Exactly.
I think that it works all the way around. You know, if I'm talking about Mark's stuff and Nicholas's stuff and JD's talking about mine and yours and back and forth, and then somebody's talking about JD's stuff, that's going to mean a lot more than JD talking about his own stuff, because if they know JD's going to shill his stuff, because if he isn't, then he shouldn't even be creating. But if somebody
JD doesn't like to market at all. He just does these shows so that he doesn't have to.
Look, this is the thing.
So I don't know if you noticed how quiet I've been. I don't even know what marketing is. What is that?
But the thing too is that I walk around collecting ads from people. Literally, I charge. I just won't ask to fill my book when I need them. You know, so I'll be like, hey, Rob, give me an ad. JD, give me an ad. So when I put the books out, because it's not just me, right? I got Imaginative Workshop. We got about 5. Actually, we got about 10 books out right now, right? So if I need to put an ad in this book, I can put it in there. If it fits if JD's ad fits that book, I'm gonna put it in there. You know, I literally keep a folder full of ads. You know what I'm saying? Just so I can give back to the community, like you were saying too. You know? So.
And that's also the benefit of being able to like give each other our digital copies for like bonus rewards, right?
Mhm.
That's partial marketing too. If you haven't done that yet, that's something that's big, right? You're giving to like, other people who have other audience that might be like, oh yeah, this is awesome. I got this free. Now I'm going to go check out issue whatever, they're on and get caught up, so that's something to think about too. When you're building your email list, give a freebie away of your book, the actual, maybe issue 1 or whatever, even if it's an ash can.
But what's so funny though with that though too, guys, I do a webcomic, right?
Mhm.
But when I get enough pages, I'm making a physical comic. So that's really another That's really another product.
Yeah.
Yep. Absolutely.
You know what I mean? So people are like, oh man, I like reading it online, but man, when it's in my hand, man, it's dope. I'll buy it anytime. You know what I'm saying? So
people still love the physical medium.
Right.
There's no doubt.
Medium. And I'm like, okay, if you guys, want to see what's going on a little bit further, go check the site out. I'm 8-9 pages ahead and whatever, stuff like that. So it helps. It works like that. It works pretty good.
Yeah.
For my 2 cents, as far as marketing is concerned, right? There's all kinds of marketing, right? So we have local marketing where we do it. Like one of the things I've done in the past in local comic shops. I'm fortunate to have like some really big good ones. Oh, isn't that so sweet?
Okay, nice shot to be loved there, Junior. No.
Yeah, it's 9 o'clock. It's your bedtime.
I would say it's a beautiful thing.
JD's like, man, I've been quiet this whole time. I start talking, and Rob goes in, interrupts me like that. Now I lost my train of thought.
No,
I was on mute. I don't know what y'all are talking about.
Watching Rob get love bomb. That's your face, son.
But locally, what I do is I go to the local comic shops, and we have quite a few in the area, right? Well, we have bigger ones. We have Midtown Comics, which is like 3 locations, Forbidden Planet, and those are typically the ones. If I want to go out to Long Island, there are more. There's a couple in Brooklyn. But what I do is I usually, because my thing is trading cards, and I'll leave trading cards with QR codes, right? And then you give a little blurb on there that that incites a little bit of interest. You just leave the little cards, and you just gotta have a slamming piece of artwork on that front cover, on that front of that card. And people will pick them up. And the one thing I find with trading cards is they're collectible. People will keep them, and they'll just put them in a little binder. Bookmarks, unfortunately, I just find they just get thrown away.
Or they get worn out from being overused, because people do use them. I mean, I'm not gonna lie. Like, you use the bookmarks, but then they get worn out eventually when they get lost.
So one thing that we just started doing with bookmarks, pretty cool, because we got a friend of ours. We like a big community here in the Detroit area, right? So everybody want to help us out. Everybody want to see us thrive, whatever, right? So we got this friend of ours who bought a 3D printer and learned how to use it pretty well. So she just came up with some some resin bookmarks for us. I was like, whoa, what's up with that, Jamie? She's like, man, these would be sweet, whatever. She gave us the price. We said, yeah, we'd go for it, because like you said, they wear out. So if it's something polished, whatever, we could charge a couple of bucks for it, but it still gets our word out, then, we win it. You know what I mean?
There you come. You said you're in Detroit area, right?
Yeah.
You coming up to Capital City Comic Con?
I'm there. I'm there every year. Imagine those there every year. I do seminars there every year. Yeah, I've been doing that.
All right, I'll see you there then.
Oh yeah, I saw you on the Playbill player. I saw you. I'm excited. I said, oh, I'm gonna go see what Rob up to over here.
Making my rounds.
Hey, look, then I'm gonna harass Dirk again. Like, hey, Dirk.
Yeah, there you go. Exactly. He'll be a captive audience.
What up, Dirk?
Yeah, well, he's got that whole source point lineup.
No, I was like, can I get in, Dirk? I saw him at C2E2, man. Was talking to it.
Let's see. You got to stand next to Rob and say, have you met my friend Rob?
Hey, you know what? I'm gonna do that because Rob might have did something to him, man.
Yeah, drop the name drop. It's fine.
There you go.
Rob might have did something to him, man. So he's like, what, Rob? Damn, Rob.
Yeah. The guy who has wolves all over the place.
Matt. So we pretty much we round robin that question, but do you have an answer?
Well, I just think that whenever you're trying to market a project, you can't look at it as this is the thing I'm going to do for this campaign or for this issue, especially when you're looking at something like crowdfunding, because like Nicholas said, you could have something that worked last time that doesn't work this time. You could have something that worked yesterday that doesn't work today. I mean, I find that every single morning I wake up during a Kickstarter campaign and I'm like, what's the different thing I'm going to do today? What's the thing I'm going to do today? Is it going to be this type of marketing? Am I going to go to this place? Is it going to be a backer kit launch? Is it going to be a campaign update? What am I going to do? I just think that not only do you need to be willing, but you need to train your mind to be like, I've got to find ways to market this as many different ways as possible. Because, I mean, think about it. How many people know that Coca-Cola is basically the reason why there's Santa Claus right now? You know, it came from a toy store and then they blew it up back in, you know, the early part of the 20th century. I didn't know that until I was an adult. I mean, I knew what St. Nicholas was. I didn't know that Coca-Cola was basically who blew that marketing out of the water. I'm like, that's crazy to think that something like that, that's a part of our culture, came from there.
Oh, for sure, for sure. Look, Valentine's Day and all other Hallmark holidays, just like that.
Yep. And so I just think that we all have to be very willing to do whatever it takes, try different kinds of marketing. Now, granted, you want the marketing to be consistent with you, consistent with the title.
You gotta be on brand. That's
right. Exactly. You want to be on brand and you want to be excited about it, man. Like right now, you know, we're working with this woman she's a good friend of ours, right? So, you know, she's been trying to get this book out for years. Start, you know. But now we moving forward. We said, let's turn it to a manga, right? So we moving forward. It's looking good. She's liking it. And I'm excited because she's a singer. She's a kick-ass singer, right? And so the main character is like a cosmic diva, you know, with cosmic abilities and stuff like that. And she's making music for it right now. So when the Kickstarter hits, we're going to have original music and we're going to be selling the CD and all that. It's going to be like, man, it's going to be bananas, man. I mean, like I said, I'm really excited about it. So I know it's going to be cool.
That's something I've always wanted to do. I am not musical at all. So it's like, I'm always, if I ever meet someone that I'm like, this is the right musician, because I think there should be so much more of it. I don't know why there aren't more comics with music to go right with them.
So funny you say that. My band, and Matt knows this. I was in a band called Crimson Dawn, which actually I took that name from a comic book character that I was working on at the time, and I was working on the logo. And my friends were like, when we were trying to figure out a new name for the band, I was like, all right, I picked it up and I was like, what about this? And everybody was like, yeah, you know. Come full circle. So I do one of my other titles.
I do it all the time.
Yeah, right. Like one of my other titles actually is kind of like based off of my band experience. If I actually produce it, my band CD is going to be like the tracks that I'll be releasing with the issues.
You know, Rob, Mark Silvestri did something dope like that, man, with a Witchblade back in the early aughts.
Oh, yeah.
Crazy.
I remember that Witchblade album.
Yeah, that Witchblade soundtrack was nice, man.
Yeah.
So I'm a metal musician, and there's already 2 albums out for Heirs of Isildur and Tales from Nocturnia. Heirs of Isildur, all the songs are like, you want to know more about this character's backstory? Go listen to this song, look at the lyrics here.
And you got some wicked vinyl too on those.
Thank you, sir. Yes, we have some vinyl. And then for the 3rd album, what I talked to Steph and I said, look, I don't want to go write one whole album all at once. That's just not what today's music market is.
Oh, no,
I'm like, as we do more Kickstarter campaigns, we did the I Am Keto Spiral into Madness, the theme song for that. And then Heirs of Isildur did 2 more songs there. And then Tatsumi, there's a couple songs. And I'm like, as we go, even the campaign that's out right now is music that I wrote and perform on the campaign video. Right. And I'm like, once we get to the point that there's like 5 or 6 songs, then maybe I'll go write a couple more so that we can flesh out the full album. So what you're saying, Rob, definitely that vibe. I mean, to me, you can't get anything better than having music that you can put along with some other kind of media, because that's when it really locks in to your head.
Look at Ice Nine Kills and what they've been doing. Like, they haven't put out an album in like 3 or 4 years, but they've been dropping tracks consecutively, you know, but it goes along with what they've been doing. Like they've been doing movie soundtracks and they put out a graphic novel, you know, all that stuff that they've been kind of just sprinkling.
Music and comics, man. Music and comics, especially like I was talking about from the standpoint of hip hop. If it wasn't for hip hop, man, shoot. I mean, if it wasn't for comics, shoot, you wouldn't have all these comics and kung fu flicks. You wouldn't have none of these names, man, that you get in hip hop, because all of them superhero names are kung fu names, man. You know, so I mean, again, the marriage is there. The marriage has always been there.
100%.
All right. So do we think we've covered enough on that one?
I think so.
All right.
I don't think there's ever enough coverage on how.
You're right. There's never enough, but we want to make sure that we give you more
out of it. That's what it is.
What's that?
And they might get anything useful out of it.
No, of course. Hey, man, listen, as soon as you said hip hop and sci-fi, I'm like, that's what's up, man. I'm just saying, because I'm like, that just shows as long as you believe in the two crazy things you're going to put together, people are going to follow you, and that's good.
Speaking of like learning things as an adult, and you were talking about like Coca-Cola, something about marketing, keep this in mind. Oranges were garbage back in the day, right? They marketed that with the vitamin C to sell orange juice back in the day, and then now everybody's drinking that stuff, and it's really not that good for you with all the sugar in it.
And the thing is, dig this too. Lobster was a poor man's food, buddy.
Oh yeah.
And now it's a premium.
Yeah. Now it's food. Yep.
Yeah.
Just saying, you put the right spin on it, the right marketing.
Exactly.
You know, what was it? Have you guys ever watched the Fall of the House of Usher on Netflix?
Yes.
Oh my god, dude! They said it perfectly. Like, look, I'll run a marketing campaign on lemons, and it'll make lemons so expensive that people will be like, "Oh, I need that. That's so lemon."
Right. Exactly.
Telling you, you get that right promotion behind something, man.
Right. Make it scarce. And I hate to bring it up, you know, but that was the problem with 90s comics.
Because everybody and their mother had them.
Yeah, scarcity. It's like it's 19 of these damn books.
But you got to remember, there was a guy in the 70s who sold pet rocks.
Oh yeah, buddy, I remember the pet rock,
right?
Oh
pet
yeah,
rock.
look, the pet rock came in a little box, dude.
And
with
a box,
like,
you painted it and had good
it had straw and stuff on it, like it was alive, like it was a pet.
Like Chia Pet, man.
It was crazy, man.
So it goes to show you can sell anything with the right marketing.
Ice to Inuits.
All right. So Mark, you're up. What's your question?
Man, my question is this. Actually, it's a question, but it comes from someplace.
Okay.
So, you know, I'm working on the project right now, right? So I was talking to Brian Stelfreeze, man, at this last Motor City Con. So I hadn't gotten a critique in a while, okay? I'm like, man, let me go ahead. It's been a long time. Just tossing somebody I respect and see what they say. So he tells me, man, I don't have nothing to say bad about your art, bro. I'm be honest to you. He says, but as a matter of fact, I love it. But he says, you doing too much. I'm like, what you mean? He's like, man, every panel got energy. And he said, that makes you tired. I was like, so what I'm struggling with is getting my rhythm right now, right? So now armed with that advice, I'm struggling on when to calm down on the panel and when to put the gas on. Because I put the gas on every panel, and every panel don't need the gas. That's basically what he was telling me.
Okay.
So I'm trying to figure out how I can make that a part of my repetition where I can identify what needs the gas and what doesn't.
Nice. I like that question.
I actually, when I was in college, I had a playwriting instructor give me kind of similar advice. And it seems to me like he had me go through and highlighting lines to figure out what to keep and what to modify. I would say if you go through what you've illustrated and like identify the panels that you want to stand out, the ones you want to have energy, that you want to have strength and kill, like find those And then, like, if you circle them or highlight them or whatever, mark them, then as you look at your pages, you'll get a sense of, you know, where you need to, where you need to push it, where you need to pull off the gas.
Because I use backgrounds on everything, and that's one of the main things he said. You know, everything will need a background.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay. And I'm addicted to them.
I love backgrounds. I mean, as a writer,
drawing background, because I used to hate them back in the day, so I made myself like them, and now I'm addicted to them.
Yeah, I mean, for me, that just deepens the world so much more. But I get there are times where you want to zero in on the characterization or the emotion in the scene, and too much background kind of has you being like, oh wow, look at that cool building.
Right.
So, I mean, one of the things that I remember, this is more Daphne's story than mine, but it's something that's always stuck with me because when she was in college, she studied under Will Eisner, right?
Right.
And one of the things Will Eisner advised her, he said, listen, you know, sometimes less is more.
Right.
So because she would put in a lot of ink lines, a lot of cross hatching. He was like, no, pull back on that. Simplify the work, tighten the lines, right? I think what Brian Stelfreeze was trying to get you to do was focus on the important portions of the storytelling. If you ever looked at his work, and even somebody like Dave Stevens,
sure,
sometimes they'll isolate a character in space, right? Just to show you the beauty of the art and that piece and the emotion in the piece.
Sure.
Right? So, you know, it's all part of like the storytelling. So, you know, because
he definitely talked about that. Yeah.
Right. Sometimes backgrounds, if it's done too well or too much, will distract you from what you're actually trying to achieve in the foreground.
He also talked to me about also using silhouettes more. He said,
right,
you can get away with using silhouettes to frame stuff, right?
Yeah, because you can use those as framing devices. You can use all kinds of, you know, interesting ways.
Right.
And I mean, yeah, it's one of those ideas where you sit down and you really start thinking about it. It can really drive you a little nuts. But I would always advise, look at guys like Matt Wagner. Brian Stelfreeze, obviously a good place.
Sure.
You know, and then
even Terry Dodson. I was looking at Terry Dodson a couple days ago, and I'm like, dang, you know.
Terry Dodson, Adam Hughes.
Both of them are. They're all economical, man. Definitely.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. If you ever get a hold of guy who did all the design work for all these cartoons, he did Space Ghost, and he did
Alex Toth.
Yes, Alex Toth.
Yeah, Alex Toth. Definitely,
you know, economy of line. You understand, like a guy who just, you know, you would think he just drew one line on the page and it was just that one image.
Sure.
You know, and you know, it was beautiful what the guy did. So yeah, man, I get it. You know, figuring that one out is tough, man. And it's, you know, no matter what we tell you here, we can give you all the advice in the world. You're still gonna be hunted for years.
All right.
But that's the fun part about it.
I definitely, you know, I've always been the guy who open and listen. I wouldn't have got this far because it's funny. The main guy who I used to be really, you know, I was a Jim Lee, John Byrne guy, right?
Right.
But over time, you know, I'm still digging their stuff. And Dave Finch, Rob, no, Dave Finch lives around here, right? So Dave, he lives in Winter, so we see him all the time. So I used to always show him my stuff or whatever, and he's like, "Oh man, it's cool, whatever." But even Dave never explained that part. So I was happy to be able to talk to Brian and him, you know, drop that on me because I could see it. It's almost like a light bulb went off. Yeah. But now I'm trying to figure out how to put that into practice.
Well, I think too, a lot of it that would probably help is the pacing of the story as well, right? Mm-hmm. So like, think about it. When you want to give the full energy of something, is usually like an action scene, right? Mm-hmm. Or like an establishing shot,
right?
Because you want to establish. You know, once you establish where you are in the room, the area, the whatever, the scenery, you got that, right? And then you want to do your close-ups. You want to do your different angles.
Absolutely.
That's something that I always push myself when I'm writing a script, is that I don't try to do, when I take my panels, usually I start with 6 and then I either add or subtract depending on the pacing and the part of the story. But like, I always try to do like camera angles, camera shots, when I think very like movie script when I'm writing my to kind of give that same, you want to be able to frame it in a different way that kind of gives that a little bit better. So you want to be able to like look at a lot of the older like movies, like a lot of the old directors when they're framing things.
Oh, for sure.
Like when they're doing stuff specifically like some of the older westerns, right?
Yeah, I'm a big John Ford fan. Huge John Ford fan.
So like think about it how he's framing everything, and it's obviously not that everything's not always full on action or full on like focus, but like you have, like you said, the silhouettes, you have the close-ups, you have the emotion, and then that's what, like, after you get into the action, that's really where you want to kind of like that's getting into everything. So it's like I said, you establish, you get to the pacing, the emotion, and then the action. So think of it that way. So it's kind of like a give and take, an ebb and flow.
Sure.
I got a couple of small things here. I think one thing that you can do from a practicality standpoint, as an artist, look at what the actual dialogue is that's supposed to go into a specific panel. If you've got a panel and there's 4 words, well, you might need a little more background for that, or you might say, hey, this there's only a couple words, so I need to lessen the background so there's more impact by this one word. But if you've got a panel that's got 3 paragraphs of dialogue, well, it's a waste of your time to go and put intricate details in the background, because it's literally never going to be seen by anybody except you as you're drawing.
One thing too, he's also saying, because I asked him a little bit more about it. He says, what I'm saying too, you understand, is that he said, I'm not saying that you're not drawing it well. He says, when you do emotions and they're emoting, these people are emoting. But having said that, he's like, you don't need to draw the hatch marks on the dude's collar all the time. Just sometimes you can back up from that and give yourself a break. So I'm like, okay.
I mean, that's the thing. Think about it like from an animation standpoint too. Like you have your keyframe with the detail, right?
Sure.
But as the fluid, as the motion is happening, they're not going back and getting all that detail in each frame. It's just like I said, keyframe, fill, keyframe. You gotta, like I said, it's just that flow.
All right, sure.
The other thing I'd say is, this is something I learned when I was working in the grocery store, my very first job. They taught me, they said, if the floor is not clean, it doesn't matter how the shelves are arranged, because people are going to see that floor not being right. That's the foundation.
Right.
It's the foundation of everything else. For me, if you're going to cut corners as an artist, and I'm saying this as a writer, never let the corner that you cut be the character's face. If I see a panel and I see ... on a panel, and you know what that is? That's 2 eyes are just ... and then a straight line, and there's no face, and there's all this other stuff around it that's drawn. My eyes are going to go right to that face and go, why did that person not draw the face? I would rather have the faces be solid and less in the background, or a less developed background, because you're going to go to the person's face right off the bat.
Sure.
I can tell you right now, I've been looking at the 5 of us on this screen. I couldn't tell you what's in the background of anybody's thing right now. But I know if Rob came out and Rob had 2 dots and a dash for his face, I'd go like, what is going on up here? And I'd be looking straight at Rob the whole time.
That's what happens when I take my glasses off.
That's the thing too, is like, if you're going to economize, don't economize the thing that's the foundation, which to me is always
what I'm trying to do. I think what I'm going to start doing, I started doing. I looked at that page and I said, okay, where's the money shot? This is the money shot. So I'm gonna put everything into that thing, and then I will go and look at the mood of the other shots and see what I need to put into, just to make sure that the mood is right.
And you definitely want to focus in on what you think the key focus of the panel is, because as Matt was saying, like if the character is supposed to be the main focus and the background is overshadowing the character, then you need to dial it back the other way.
And there's also ways, like you talk about with shadows and stuff, to do that. Because I've also started using more shadows.
Yeah,
to pop my characters out.
And that's another thing, like kind of opposite of what Matt was saying. Instead of doing the ... mouth thing or ... dash, do a shadow over the face. If you want to do the background as an establishing shot, but you still want the character in there, but you don't need all the detail. Have the shadow just enough.
Yeah, definitely. You definitely, you definitely want to have some contrast in there, right? So,
Light and shadow is something that a lot of artists can do, but they forget to include.
Yeah, I think one of the things that you think of the story, right, is think of Formula One racing, right? It's not like just a straight path. You're not just like burning down the road. You're pulsing your engine. You're making these turns, so you're slowing down, you're speeding up, you're slowing down, you're speeding up.
For that pole position, yeah.
Right, exactly. You're slowing down, you're speeding up. Because there are stories where you're just gonna want to slam on the gas and go straight forward and just burn, right? But you do that enough times, you will blow out your engine. And what I mean is, you'll blow yourself
for the last lap if you can. If you actually have that chance, that's when you want to get on.
Right, exactly. that's why the joke in superhero comics is always the last scene is a big fight, right? You're saving that big thing for the end of the book. There's always some kind of fight, right?
Well, I think too that I showed them the book with the Judas Fist and whatnot. It's one big action scene or whatever, but it has scenes in there that anchor you to show you why the guy's doing this. There aren't big fighting scenes, whatever, but they're definitely scenes where you see his emotion, you see, you know who he is, why he's doing it. You also see him where you slow down and watch him show emotion to other people. You know what I'm saying? I mean, genuine emotion, not just whatever, stuff like that. So, like I said, I'm getting it, and I'm so happy that he said that to me, because what that makes me do, that also going to speed me up.
Yeah, it'll save you the time.
Gusto in every panel, I don't need to do that. So,
I think something too, like, because you said this is an ongoing action scene, like throughout the book, right? I think something like, if you've never seen the first season of Daredevil, like the original one that was on,
I watched it, yeah.
Yeah. Well, you remember that one scene where he goes in, it's a nonstop fighting scene where he's going in and out of the hall and in and out and this and that. Like it's a nonstop one shot, they don't cut it all.
Sure.
Watch the framing and when they're going in and out of the room and like the different light and shadow that they're using.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
Like that I think would help you.
Well, my thing is that the fight scenes ain't never been my problem. That's the one thing.
Right. But my point is though, is that like you like you said, this is one ongoing fight scene in a way.
Well, no, what I mean is this. So I know how to. My pacing is good. It's the actual art. You know what I mean?
Right.
So when I do the art, even if it's a scene that's quiet, I put so much detail in the scene that even it's throwing off energy that it shouldn't be throwing off because there's so much detail in the scene.
Right.
That's what
he needs a little calmer, a little.
Right. I need to calm down the detail on some of the scenes. Yeah. That's what he's saying too.
Well, and like I said, but my point going back to that Daredevil thing is like, because of the way they use the light and shadow and them going in and out of like different rooms while they're doing it. They're, like I said, the framing, you're not seeing all of the detail all at once, just the things that they're trying to get you to see. So even when there's when they're in a second where he's like taking a breather before he continues on, like that's what, like, you actually get to feel that, because you're like he's like gas,
right,
break, but it's still then goes back in. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. You ever seen The Raid?
Yeah.
I'm a Raid fanatic.
Well, no, it was from. Have you ever seen Old Boy?
Old Boy,
the original Korean film. That's where the Daredevil scene is taken from. There's a hallway scene where
he nuts in that scene.
Yeah, that scene is it's the Daredevil scene. They literally took it. It's one shot, and they were going back and forth. It was always. So.
Like I said, that Raid, man. Look, I'm a Hong Kong movie fanatic, but that Raid definitely did something to me. And all those Indonesian movies afterwards, like, man, nuts. So I try to capture a lot of that in the work,
All right, cool. Mark, I don't know. Did we help any?
Heck yeah, man. Let me tell you, like I said, dude, I'm getting knowledge from everywhere I can keep my hands on. So thank you guys. I appreciate it for sure. You definitely help.
All right, cool. Nicholas.
Yeah.
What's your dilemma?
Well, I am publishing my first massive indie comics anthology. It's a Weird Western anthology. And really, my dilemma is that I want to stay ahead of any problems, mistakes, errors, anything. So, like, what do we do? What do I do? What do I don't do?
You're not going to do that.
So
I-
But
I
what
would
you're going
say-
to do is going to have a lot of stuff to learn from the next time. This right
Yeah.
here, this the first time. Hey, this is where you're jumping off you're jumping off the bridge with no parachute.
Yeah.
And that's
I've
okay.
been-
Yeah.
yeah.
I would say the
I think
very
this
first
is
thing I'd
more
want
of
to
a
know is,
traditional.
are you-
Let's ask him what he's tried or where he's at first before we kind of give him any of the. Because
well,
I know
here's my question. When you say the word anthology, do you
Mhm.
mean you're writing a bunch of stories that are going in there, or you are getting other people to come in and be in the book with you like a true anthology?
True anthology.
Okay.
Yeah. My first two books, my first two graphic novels were sort of anthology style where I wrote the whole thing and worked with different artists on different short stories. So I've been through that, and I've obviously, like probably the rest of you, contributed to a number of anthologies, watched friends do it from the other side. But like, I know it's a big undertaking. I've seen the stress on other people. So
No,
So I
the
like-
reason I said
I
what
like
I
to say-
said, the reason I
Yeah, I
said
like
what I
to say-
said, Nick, is this, right?
yeah.
I'm a big fan of never letting the perfect be the enemy of the good. All right, that's first and foremost. And so, the best for me, at least, the best way to tackle that and make it, because what you're trying to do right now actually is make it manageable, right?
Yeah.
So you got to break it into its component parts. So okay, you got the writing, okay. So I'm pretty sure you guys you got an editor for the writers, right? To make
Right.
sure that boom, just doing the writing is doing what's supposed to be. Boom, that's your check mark. The art, you're gonna go through it, and some of it may need to be changed, some of it may not need to be changed. Boom, check.
Mm-hmm.
Then you got the marketing. You break it up and you think about the different people in the anthology and what brings you all together as an anthology, and you market from the get to together standpoint, and then you micro market for the particular stories. Check. You see what I'm saying? So you breaking it all up and attacking each particular part and focusing on attacking each particular part instead of just being overwhelmed or like, the anthology is killing me. You know what I'm saying? Don't do that. So just break it up, and then what'll happen, you'll find out that you're more calm, and then you'll also find out that you'll see the landmines better than if you just looked at it as like this whole big gargantuan thing. You know what I mean?
Right.
So, as far as like where are you now in the process? Like, how far have you gotten? What systems have you got put in place? Do you even have writers lined up? Do you have artists lined up? How are you connecting the dots? Like, what are you doing right now?
Yeah, I actually, I'm still taking more pitches until the end of the month, but I've got I've got a book at this point.
Right.
Enough creative teams assembled, and I've even got a couple of covers in the works already, and I kind of laid out a simple timeline for each of the elements: the script, pencils, inks, color letters. So I feel pretty good about what I'm doing.
Yeah.
But I've felt good about what I was doing before.
So you already have these artists and everybody lined up.
Yeah.
So are you paying them, or is the writing team paying the certain set of artists? How's that breakdown work, or is it all coming out of your pocket?
All the people that are working for me, work for hire, are getting a page rate, like the artists and anyone that I'll hire to do the interstitials and that kind of stuff. And then all the creative teams are responsible for themselves, and then they get I like to call it thank you money, because I know it's not really what they deserve, but they get paid out of the Kickstarter profits.
Yeah. I mean,
Right.
Okay. how are you communicating with all of them? Is it all through like email or Facebook, or do you actually have like a tool that you're using to kind of manage everything?
So far, it's been through email.
Right.
Yeah. Is there a good tool? What do you guys like?
I would say okay,
Rob has a class. He's gonna.
I would say, Nicholas, have you been in any of Travis Gibbs' anthologies?
No, I haven't done any of
Okay.
his.
So Travis, I would put the work that Travis does on his Cthulhu Invades Wonderland, Neverland, all that, up against any other anthologies that are out there. I've lost count of how many he's done.
He's done, at least a dozen.
Yeah.
He does a really good job of organizing people. I would highly suggest a private Facebook group or a private Discord channel, so that way there's a spot where all that communication can go, so that way you can see the post, and you can put one post up there that everybody can see. That way the leadership can be right there from the top down, and somebody can't say, well, I only saw an email that was on June 1st. I didn't see the email from June 5th. It's a lot easier for you to go and pin a post up there like that.
Yeah, especially with how like spam is these days. Like everybody gets so many emails. I can't tell you how many times I've seen an email a month later after I finally cleaned my box out.
Yep, sure.
Yeah, and then that way, if you're like, hey, there's going to be 12 people in the book, or 12 stories, here's the creative teams on there, so everybody kind of knows who's there and what their role is going to be in the book. And then that way you can communicate, hey, the deadline for, like, you want to set your deadlines, as far as I'm concerned, incredibly earlier than what you want the actual deadline to be. Like, if you're like, hey, you want to go to print in September, you better be setting that deadline at the end of July, because for a fact everybody's not going to be done at the end of July, and then your timeline isn't pushed back.
Wow.
I would make sure you got single points of communication. That way you're not, as the one who's organizing, having to be like, I've got to go send 12 emails to send to these 12 teams. You've just increased your workload by 12 times instead of just putting it into that one group chat.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So what I do too, like I said, I do the group chat. Where actually, so I'm art director for Imaginals Workshop, and also art director for Shine the Taco, our manga offshoot, right? So we each got different groups, right? So and we also, like Matt was saying, we got a dedicated private Facebook page. So all the stuff, like Matt was saying, the ironclad stuff goes on the Facebook page, so everybody can see it and say I didn't see it. No, boom, I saw it pop up. But the day-to-day conversations, for people needing help, whatever, we do that on Discord, and we also do it on like Facebook Messenger, right? So again, I also do that because I like to try to keep the momentum going and keep the excitement going for the project. So if we all on there, we revving it up. People are feeling good about doing it, and it make sure it gets done. And if there are any problems, we can head them off and help people right there too.
That's good advice.
Yeah, I think something too, and JD already knows what I'm going to say about this, because we both were chuckling as soon as this even came up. So like for me, when I'm working with my art teams, I use Trello to basically, be able to put the art up and kind of go through. I know each team's probably going to have their own process, but you're going to want, like Matt said, a centralized place for everything to be, whether that's Trello, Discord. Probably those two would be a good way to do it, because they are meant for that kind of like management and data and sharing imagery. The one thing that I dislike about Discord is because it's more of a chat base. So like you kind of, everything gets lost in the scroll unless you kind of have things separated into like the channels properly. But you just got to kind of keep that in mind. Like with Facebook groups, that might be good for communication, but not so much managing the art and timelines and the expectations and all that stuff. So it's definitely something you really want to have, whatever you're comfortable with and everybody else can buy in on. Right. Because if you get a system in that's good for you, but nobody else knows how to use it, then you're going to get a lot of like pullback on that, and it won't be a good situation.
Right. Sure. Okay, so like Google Drive would be good for that.
Google
Yeah.
Drive would be good for storage.
Yeah.
I wouldn't
Yeah.
necessarily say for like project management.
Okay.
You
Tell me more about
definitely want a
Trello.
project management based system because you could always connect Google Drive to it, the links and all that stuff.
Yeah.
But you definitely want something where you can communicate, share stuff, talk about it, and that's why I like Trello is you can actually comment on the cards. You can do checklists. Like I said, with my artists, that we put the rough up, I put a checklist of the edits that I want. Everything's tracked. I can comment. I can text them from my app on my phone, just like, one's in Chile, one's in LA, one's in South Africa. I can text them just like I could text anybody in the States, through this app. So something like that is something you want to do. And that's Discord's another one too, because it's so robust, but you want to make sure that you have it set up that you can manage it. Again, you can store things in Google Drive and Google Docs and that stuff, but things get lost. It's not a project management tool. It's a project storage, if you will.
Yeah. Okay. What else? What other dumb stuff am I doing?
I think
Doing an anthology. No.
I think you're on track pretty much. Like I said before, just don't let yourself get overwhelmed. That's what'll kill you right there.
Yeah.
And try and get some help too. Like whoever your editors are, they're going to be probably your best go-tos because they're going to be putting their eyes on the projects as well.
Right.
I don't know if you have an art director team or if that's all you. I would definitely get like some cohorts to help you through the process because if you're doing it all yourself, there's a chance that things are going to slip through the cracks. And like I said, and what Matt was saying, Travis is very good about that because he has his Orange Cone team, like he has himself, he has his wife, he has Jerome, he has
Pete Reset. Pete Reset is always there helping him out.
Yeah, exactly. Like he has like his teams that and several editors. Like he doesn't just have one editor looking at everything. He has a group of editors who are on these projects. So and that way they're kind of all micromanaging, and the teams then are managing themselves. Like so, the writer is micromanaging the artists, and then the writers then bring it into the editors. The editors then kind of coordinate that with Travis. So, like I said, as long as you have like the systems in place to help you, it'll be a less stressful environment managing all of these teams at once.
And that's what it's about. Less stress.
Yeah.
Are you intending on doing a crowdfunding campaign for it at some point?
Oh, yeah.
One thing I would highly suggest, we did this with a different anthology that I was in. When you launch your campaign, create some secret tiers that are only there for the individuals that are a part of the anthology so that they can get bundle sets at a put them on the table price, like a wholesale price. So you might have somebody who wants to get 20 copies of the anthology that they're in to sell on their tables. And then you're not putting that writer or that artist package price out there to the general public. You can start getting pre-sales to your own team, even if you're giving them a pay rate or page rate or whatever it might be. They might get comps, whatever it be. They might want more than that, and you might raise $5,000 towards your campaign just in people buying that wholesale stock that they're going to use for their shows.
Yeah, and that's something like every anthology that I was a part of. If they would have done that, I would have definitely put more into the campaign because for example, with Travis's. With Cthulhu Invades Wonderland, I'm still buying books off of him.
Yep.
Right.
Literally, just put an order with him today for more Wonderland and Neverland. I kid you not.
Yeah, that is a brilliant idea because every anthology I'm a part of, I buy more books at the end.
Right.
Yep.
But to put that money into the campaign is brilliant.
Yeah, and I only have one question, and that is, how much of the anthology is done?
Well, I'm still taking pitches, but I have already some of the people that I've involved early on have sent some scripts, a little early art. So it's some of the creators are getting ahead, but technically I'm not even in production yet.
Right.
Gotcha.
So you just all pre-pro.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, because I mean, you know how creators are sometimes. Some of them are great, some of them are flaky. A lot of it's herding cats, and sometimes you have artists, and you got to chase them down. And it's a pain in the butt.
So many years of that, man. Now I have so many litmus tests that it's like, look, hey, bro. So I know who I'm working with. I know what to expect out of them. I know what I'm gonna get out of them. But that took a while, Nick. That took a long time to get there.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, I never try to do a campaign unless it's done.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I
no,
try.
I actually, the campaign that I have ending tomorrow, the
Mhm.
book is already getting printed, and we expect to
Oh,
get it
okay,
delivered
good.
in a couple of weeks. It's
Mhm.
like we put our money ahead of our mouths,
Right.
but
Mhm.
that's not the norm.
Which is
but-
the best way
yeah,
to do,
definitely.
because then people can trust you more, and
Yeah.
that's a big thing these days, especially with how many times people have been burned.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I had one book that was a whole year late because the artist really was a flake, and that hurt me. It hurt me to be the person doing that.
Mm-hmm.
It hurt him too.
Yeah.
Reputation is hard. Reputation is hard to get back, buddy. Nobody
Yep.
saying that you a smuck out here in the streets.
I
That's
mean,
for
Yeah.
if you take a whole year to do a book, you're not going to get that job later.
Oh no!
Yeah.
It took him a whole year to do a quarter of the book. It was like I didn't launch the Kickstarter until I thought we were there.
Mm.
It was the last 20 pages that it took him an extra year.
Oh
Wow,
my
my
god!
goodness.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm working currently with an artist. I saw this guy on Facebook, right? So he's advertising, he's looking for work, and he wants covers. Okay. I reach out to him. I say, what are your rates? He gives me his rates. Okay. It took him like 2 weeks to get back to me. I was like, Jesus Christ. Okay.
Uh-huh.
Then I said, cool. I sent him the book. I said, do a cover based on this. It took me probably a month to get a layout. Then it took me another month to get the finished product. Now I have him doing a second cover. And mind you, the cover came out really nice. It looks good.
Mhm.
Right. But I'm like, now I'm sitting back going, is that juice worth that squeeze?
But you know what's so funny with that though, JD? Because I work with a lot of people overseas, a lot of people in Nigeria and whatnot, and Malaysia, a lot of people, right?
Yeah.
So I start, once I get a situation like that, I know that guy is a mill, meaning that he's doing work for 900 people,
Right. Mhm.
right? And my thing is this, and unfortunately, for whoever that person is, I know that they probably got a situation going on where they got a whole bunch of mouths to feed, and they got work. So unfortunately, when I deal with people like that and I don't get that back in that time, I gotta let them go, bro.
Oh yeah, I'm at that point. I'm like, I'm probably gonna get the second cover done. I'm like, that's right, because it's a 9-issue story, so I have like 9 covers I need, and I'm like, if he would have given me these covers every week, I would have paid him every week, and like boom, 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 right through all night. But I'm like, all right.
I mean, I don't know a lot of artists though who pump out a cover a week though. For usually, like you got to get so much in advance for them to be able to even get it to you. Like
depends on who it is, and
yeah. My thing is this. See, also with the covers, Rob. Again, for me, one thing like being an artist, I've had people try to, I don't tell people I'm an artist at first, right? So they think, okay, well, I'm a writer or whatever. They come to me with all sorts of cockamamie BS, and I'm like, oh yeah, for real, really, And then I think JD, I told you this before. Then I do what I invariably do. Whatever I was going to pay them to draw, I draw it myself and I send it to them. Then the old things changed. Then where'd you get this from? I did it myself. Oh well, I see. Just some research, you find out I was an artist too. So what's up?
Yeah.
I never tell people I draw initially, just because I want to see how they act. Because I know people treat writers bad, so I just want to see.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think I just think he's, like you said, he's a mill. He's just running a bunch of jobs. He is a fantastic artist. The prices I found to be very reasonable for a cover. So I was just like, okay, he's just killing himself in 14 different places. But I'm like, I've been working, I have an artist I've been working with like 16, 17 years now, right? Consistently paying this person, and I have, 4 or 5 different artists I'm working with like that, consistently paying them. And I'm like, if you want to be part of that, I can do that, but you gotta like freaking get back. Oh, and that's the other thing. It takes him forever to get back to me. I ask a question. There's no communication.
Katie, our mutual friend from Mexico, she likes to take. She's the same way. She's a mill, but it's worth her art worth it though.
Right. Well, I don't know which. I think I know which one
you know which one I'm talking about.
Oh, okay.
She does a lot of your Dreamweavers and your other.
Oh, okay. Yeah. But see, here's the thing. You see, if you're not in a rush, that's the one good thing. I'm not in a rush. Right. With this one, it's not so much that I'm in a rush, but it's like if I send you an email or a DM, just get back to me. Just say, yo, man, I'm working on it. Or you got to give me 2 or 3 weeks. Right. Just tell me that. I don't need you to be like.
Communication is key. That's something.
That's the most
if you ghost me for a long period of time, then yes, we are done.
I find so many artists, they don't want to respond until they have something good to say. And it's like a good thing to say is give me a week and I'll show you something.
There's an artist that that our buddy from Big Dog Ink uses, right? Colors. I used to use her for years, right? So she ghosted me one time. I mean, straight ghosted. And so finally, after about 2-3 months waiting on this cover, got in touch with her. She's like, well, I was moving. You act like your person can't move. This. I was like, look, I know people have issues. I'm a human being. I get that, right? I'm like, but first of all, don't be coming off on me like your problems are my problem because they effing ain't. Number one. Number two, as you came to me and told me that you was moving, hey, I could have moved my time schedule back.
Yep.
And I had no problem doing that. But ultimately, that one thing about being an artist is this: I try my best to never be an entitled artist. Because a lot of people think they have a skill that can't be replicated. Oh, no, that's wrong. Okay. So, again, entitlement, that's another thing you're going to run into, Nick. You're going to have some people that's going to act like, oh, well, I'm doing you a favor, bringing you a little anthology. Excuse my language, fuck them.
Look at it this way, too. If you were working a regular job and you were late on your project that had a deadline, you would be screwed, right?
Yep.
A lot of these artists who are doing freelance don't understand that, and they expect us writers to take that. Well, guess what? If you were working for the big two, they expect you to have your deadline done, and they're going to pay you less than us.
Sure. And then on top of that, look, again, I do comics, love comics, right? But I come from TTRPGs. I mean, I'm a lot bigger in TTRPGs than I'm ever going to get in comics, right? So, having said that, when that company gives you that deadline, they say, I need these 8 ELOs in 2 weeks. You better have them done in 2 weeks, buddy. Ain't no ifs, no ands, no buts, I suppose. Yeah. If you want to keep the next job.
Yeah, and that's just it. Like, as long as you communicate. And you talk because life happens, whatever. Like, you're moving, but guess what? Your full-time job doesn't care if you're moving. You better take some vacation time if you're going to do it during work. But, like, you got to communicate with your boss.
Communication, that's all you have to do. And then I've been like, okay, cool. It's okay. I don't work with her no more. It is what it is. It's cool. But I mean, again, all she had to do was communicate, and I'd have been straight.
That's just it. Talk schedules, and if the schedule doesn't work out, update the schedule because we all want our own. We have deadlines, right? We have multiple projects in the hopper. We all want to be able to make sure that they're all getting out on time because we have people who are relying on our books for entertainment, right? You wait too long, they start to lose interest. So, and that's kind of like when you give a deadline, especially for these Kickstarters, you want to be reasonable with yourself, but also with the artist. But when they get too far out, like that year, like that, Nicholas was talking about for 20 pages, that's insane.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah, I have not gone back to him.
Smart.
Yeah, I'd have fired that person. I would have gotten like the last finished page from whatever it was. I'd have been like, look, sorry, we're done. And I would have hired somebody with a similar style.
I was literally like 2 times in the process. I got up in the morning ready to send an email asking someone else if they could come finish it. And then I'd get some new pages in my inbox.
Oh, he was just bringing you along.
Yeah, exactly.
Magic sense.
Wow. Yeah, it's pretty rough.
My spidey sense is tingling.
Hey, look, they've done it before. That's their modus operandi. Nick.
Yeah.
That's what they do, man. I mean, you know,
yeah.
people, it's like, look, buddy, again, I'm expendable. Everybody is expendable.
Yep.
Yeah.
And anybody, you know, again, work a regular 9 to 5, teach you that.
Yeah. And you know, it's funny is like the guy I'm working with, like I said, a fantastic artist, love his work, would love to continue working with him, but I have like 5 or 6 other artists that I can tap.
Sure.
Right. Because I've worked with them and I, you know, they get back to me quick and it's just the shiny new thing. Right. I find the new artist, it's just shiny new thing. It's just like, woo, look at that.
I get you there, man. I get you there, JD.
Right. That's all that is. And when I have like a half dozen perfectly good other artists that I could attack for the piece.
Well, I mean, I can understand if they have like an audience too that you want to tap into. I mean, it's nice to kind of like get into that, you know.
No,
I got a wealth of riches over here.
Well, then I don't know what your problem, JD, is. Why are you hiring this guy?
The artwork is really good. It was really, really nice. I really enjoyed it.
I'm blessed because I'm very picky. I'm blessed, man, with some monstrous artists over here at Imaginos. I got to be real with you. There's some guys that work with us, man. Every page come in, I'm just got my mouth open like, God, damn, look at this, you know. But having said that, I got a relationship with them guys.
Mm-hmm.
So they know, man, Mark, man, have some troubles at home, man. That's all right, man. Because what I also do is I put my deadlines out so far that it's almost impossible for them to fuck them up.
That's what I'm saying. You got to be reasonable with the deadlines.
Right. I put them out so far, it's impossible for them to F it up. And they be like, well, man, how can you do this? I said, hey, I was like, look, if you give me the work you've been giving me, everyone will forgive it.
Mm-hmm.
And I also don't be walking around telling people, oh, it's coming out in 2 weeks, it's coming out in 5 weeks. I don't do that, but that's the perfect way to shoot yourself in the foot. No.
Oh, don't make deadlines to the readers. Give it, generalize it.
Yeah, you generalize. Yeah, don't be, you know.
Yeah, it's coming out this spring. Maybe.
Not May 25th, 5 p.m.
Sure.
It's still spring until like the end of June.
Right.
Maybe August.
And you might even get 2 weeks, and they'll forgive you.
Mm-hmm. Nicholas, I don't know how much that helped you.
That helped me a lot, actually.
It's cool.
Yeah, there's a lot to learn in the process of doing something this insane, and so I'm
learn from those who've already done.
Yeah.
Those who've fallen down every flight of stairs.
Yeah, it's good. It's good to have friends that have fucked this up before.
Yes, thank you. Nick, you're right here, buddy.
That's
We're right here.
I mean,
and that's why we do this show, because JD and I have been fucking up for how long?
I tell my guys in the crew, you know, I fucked up, so you don't have to.
That's it.
Learn from my mistakes.
And you remember when we were growing up, man, they had that what commercial was it, dude? With the scrubbing bubbles. They say we work hard so you don't have to.
Yeah.
That's it.
I wish my kids would listen to me about that kind of situation. You know, my oldest is going to college this fall, and you know, I keep telling him all these things that he needs to know, but does he listen? Nope.
Mm-hmm. Well, you know, listen, he knows everything. He's gonna be fine.
Yeah.
He fall down that first step, all those lessons will come right back to him.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. That's it. Just keep telling him. He'll realize, shit, Dad was right.
Look, my uncle was like that when I went to college. Man, he was talking about college and then fell down that first step. I'm like, man, what did he say? What else did he say?
Mm-hmm. There you go.
Recalling all that wisdom.
Uh-huh.
Mm-hmm.
All right. gentlemen, we're gonna step into a different world right now, right? And it's gonna be Tatsumi. Now, Matt, this show is not like my Sunday show. You got 5 minutes.
Dude, I got 5 minutes. Tatsumi 1 through 3. This campaign ends, as you see, in 66 hours. It is almost over. It's the story of a Onabageisha from a Far East kingdom who is displaced. She finds herself in the care of a rogue pirate band. We do have a guest appearance from Efren Ramirez, who was Pedro in Napoleon Dynamite. He actually asked us if sometime he could become a character in our series. And Steph and I, what would you do in a situation like that? Of course, we're going to let somebody from Dynamite be in our series. We are super stoked about this campaign. It's performing really well, but that doesn't mean we don't want every single person out there to become involved in it. We really love the story that we're telling for Tatsumi. So if you're someone that wants good stories that you can feel like you can invest your time and you can invest your energy into, this is a story for you. From a products perspective, we really love the covers that we have. We've got regular covers, foil covers, metal covers, laser engraved wood covers. We've got socks and shirts that we do, poker chips. We have foil trading card limited edition sets. We have customized wearable leather work that we actually have a leather worker that makes specifically for our campaigns. So we have all kinds of fun stuff. So if you are a collector of comics, we got you. If you're somebody that wants the swag that goes along with it, we got you. If you're somebody that wants to have music that goes along with it, we got you there too. So we'd love to see everybody come out to tinyurl.com/Tatsumi3 and come get yourself on this ship and sail away with us. Boom. How's that, JD?
Excellent.
Come sail away with me.
All right, you guys can do that. Yeah, but so this is, I know we already went through this, but we're gonna go through it again. Matt, this is issue 3 of what?
Issue 3 of probably 6. It might be right now. Issue 4 is completely done as far as the art's concerned. Steph and I are putting the rest of the art together. We know where the story's going. We've realized that we might have a little too much meat on the bone for it to be 6. We're not sure if it's going to be a long 6 or we're going to have to make it 7. But we are definitely getting that together right now so we can actually get the art started on 5.
You should make it 8 just so that you can't, that nobody can do the other 2 words. If you know what I mean.
Yeah. Yeah. So we've got a bunch of different cover artists that have worked with us all the way through the prequel I Am Keto. We actually have some catch-up tiers in here per cover artist. So you can either go and get all the covers for a specific issue. You can say, hey, I want to get the Alessandro Ventura covers. I want to get the Chess and Gwyn set of covers. I want to get the guest artist. We've had a different guest artist for each issue, or you've got the specialties, the sketch covers, the foil covers, things like that. We have right there, we have a special cross promo. Go down just a little bit, JD, with Stabity Bunny, with Stabity Ever After 2. Stabity, they left their campaign in late pledges. If you back their campaign, you get the orange Sea Serpent metal card. If you only back our campaign physically, you get the purple Sea Serpent metal card. But if you back both of our campaigns physically, that's the only way to get the entire 3-card set and get all 3 of them. When we did this the last time, I think we only printed 51 of the middle metal card. We've agreed between the two of us, we'll never sell these sets. We'll use them as different promotional things and different campaigns. But so to get yourself one of those middle cards, if you don't back these campaigns physically, you're gonna have a tough time getting a hold of one of those things if you don't become a part of these 2 different campaigns together.
All right, very nice. And what's up with the gold coins?
All right, so we've done all these different poker chips that we've done over time. We decided with this one that we have these gold poker chips, and let me tell you, those pictures there, those are unedited, unenhanced. I just have a light box, put them in there, took the pictures. That's actually what those coins look like. The top 15 backers per pledge amount are automatically going to get those coins, and then we're going to do 5 more of them are going to go randomly to other physical backers, and that's the only way you're going to get them. So if you want to get one of those, you got to pledge high. And that way you can be one of the gold, the gold level backers of this campaign.
All right, very nice, very nice. All right, cool. I mean, what's next? What's on the horizon past
So
this?
right now is finishing this arc up. The next thing, like we talked about earlier, definitely have designs on getting that third album done. And whenever we do an album, we always make sure there's some kind of comic that goes along with it. Steph and I have talked about a couple different things that we want to do that we aren't ready to announce yet. We definitely have some other ideas that might come along that might be new things we haven't done before yet. So we're pretty excited.
All right. Looks good, man. Listen, you guys always put together great campaigns. Beautiful looking book. Everybody, go buy one.
I appreciate that. Thank you. Yeah, tinyurl.com/Tatsumi3. Get some.
There you go. All right, real quick. Mr. Judafist.
All right, so Judafist is about a guy who was made into a super weapon in our time, actually in the 1990s, who wakes up in the future when he finds out he has some relatives left in the form of 3 orphan kids. Now, the guys he was battling in the 1990s, he also finds out that in the future, to 2072, they are in charge of the world government, and they also are looking for him because they want his DNA. And guess what? He's got 3 kids, so now they're looking for them because they want their DNA as well to make more super weapons. So it's really Mr. Mom meets Terminator is what I like to call it. You know, the guy, Amaru Jones, he put his family in a heck of a pickle when he got turned into a super weapon. You know, they had to go into hiding and whatnot. And so he wakes up, you know, feeling very, very obligated and very horrible about what he's done. And he vows to never let it happen to his family again. So obviously, you know, in the story, you got him battling all of these other super weapons that were made off his template called the Slaughter Kind. And he's battling through them so that he can understand more about the truth about why he was made. And so what he finds out ultimately is that there's some alien involvement and a conspiracy that goes back 50,000 years. And he's right about his kids because his kids will end up being the savior of humanity.
All right. Very nice. Now, Mark, I'm like a broken record. So when's this Kickstarter again coming out?
Perhaps sooner than later, because what I decided to do was change up my plans. I'm going to get the first Kickstarter is going to be to get the first issue colored.
Okay.
That's going to be, I'm going to do that September.
Oh, nice.
All right. So as you can see, I do all my stuff in black and white because it's a web comic first. And I get to go and fix some of the stuff, you know, before I get ready to color it and tone down some stuff and whatnot. And I'll actually by then I'll probably be done with issue 2, but I'm not going to color that until I get number 1 color. I also got an art book I did recently with that, because again I do role-playing game art, so I've got Judafist stuff in there. I've worked for Palladium Books. I've been working for Palladium Books since 1995. You know, Riv's Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I've done Robotech work. I've done all sorts of stuff, right? So I got a lot of that stuff in my art book. So I'll be giving the art book away in my Kickstarter, and I also got a lot of merch because I also design t-shirts and stuff too. So a lot of stuff that you see him wearing in here, I have the shirts and stuff too for that.
All right. Very nice.
Trying to run my marketing game, you know. So I've also been giving merch to a lot of underground hip hop guys too, you know, so they can kind of spread the word.
All right. Very nice. Looking forward to it, Mark. You know that.
I'm having fun, and that's the key thing. You know, it's like at first I was doing so much that I wasn't having fun. If you hit the next one, that's Imagine Those Workshop. You know, I'm doing a lot of art direction with the dudes right now too. So I don't mind my stuff being slow if the team is doing great at the end of it, you know. So
All right. Like I said, this isn't the Sunday show, so we try to keep these really tight.
right.
So you know,
Oh, no problem.
trust me, you'll be back on Sunday again, and we can take a little bit more time. All right. So all right, now we got a Return to Misfits. Nicholas. Yes.
Oh, that looks fun. That looks real fun.
Yeah, that's Return to Misfit Island. It is the second all-ages graphic novel in the Misfit Island series. And every book that we do in this series has 3 different stories in it that focus on 3 different characters, sets of characters, and they all relate back to the island of Dissidentia, which is populated entirely with cryptids, creatures, and monsters. Right here you see in Henry, he's the son of a Frankenstein monster, and all he wants to do is be a rock star, so he's out there living his dream. There's a story with Isla. She's a harpy, and she lives on the highest peak mountain of the island of Dissidentia, which is a harpy community. But she wants to feel free and fly, so she flies away and gets stuck on the mainland, and now she's trying to integrate and find safety here with us normies. And of course, Brody the Jackalope and his friends get into all kinds of scrapes and adventures on the island of Dissidentia.
Right.
So yeah, we say it's a book for all the misfits out there. It's thematically it's about characters that don't really know where they belong in the world, and
that's cool.
Finding their safe spot, finding their home, where they belong, who they belong with.
Right.
Yeah.
All right,
And yeah, there's lots of there's catch-up tiers as well. There's other books that you can add on, like my Daisy Cassidy series.
Yeah.
There's even some of my mature readers' books are available as add-ons.
I'm liking all this stuff, man.
Yeah.
I'm liking it a lot.
Our sweatshirts are the comfiest sweatshirts ever. Swear to God. We made them for ourselves so that we could wear them at the booth in San Diego.
Mhm.
All right.
But then we had extras, so we sell them.
Right.
All right,
Yeah.
Cool.
But yeah,
So,
it ends at 9 a.m. tomorrow morning. And we are doing something very special on this campaign for the last 24 hours.
Right.
Every backer in the last 24 hours, or every previous backer that increases their pledge by any amount at all, it doesn't matter, they will get our San Diego Comic-Con exclusive sticker. We made a sticker exclusive for San Diego. It's only available with the purchase of this book in San Diego, but we've also made it available to our backers as an early reward.
All right.
Nice.
Very nice. So, do you have a rough idea of what the page count might be?
I know exactly what it is. It's 72 pages.
Oh yeah, baby.
Yeah. Like I said, this is already with the printer, so we're going to have it in a couple of weeks in time for San Diego Comic-Con.
Cool. And of the 3 stories, did you write one or all of them? I know Rob actually listened to this earlier.
So my wife, Sarah Silver, is one of the co-creators, and she's a co-writer. We kind of created all the characters together and talk out the stories, and then I write 2 of the stories, and she writes one of them.
Right.
And then the other co-creator is Bobby Timoney, the illustrator, and he's done the DC League of Super Pets graphic novel and all kinds of other cool things.
Right.
All right, cool, man. I mean, it looks great. I mean,
Thank you.
14 hours left to go, everybody. So jump on now.
Yeah.
All right.
Tomorrow, 9 a.m. West Coast time.
There you go.
Yeah.
All right. Very nice. Yeah, it looks great.
Yeah, it does.
Thank you.
Look pretty good.
Cool. Gentlemen, we made it to the hour and a half mark. Nice and smooth. Exactly. Nice and smooth. All right. So let's start with Mark. Mark, where can we find you and your work, sir?
And you can find Judafist at judafistthecomicseries.com, and you can find the rest of our work for Imaginos Workshop at imaginosworkshop.com.
All right, cool. Nicholas?
Well, you can find me on Instagram at Broken Ore Comics, and you can go straight to that Kickstarter campaign at brokenorecomics.com.
All right, very nice. Sir Matt.
So right now, the most important place you can go is tinyurl.com/Tatsumi3 to go get yourself in on the Tatsumi the Servant Mistress campaign. It's for fans of Pirates of the Caribbean, live action One Piece meeting martial arts heroines. If you're like, hey, I want to see the other stuff you guys do, metal music, the newsletter we have, Steph does a lot of article writing for places like Horror Geek Life, Horror Buzz, Fangoria, the Daily Jaws. You can go to linktree.com/InSymmetry Creations, INSYMMETRY Creations. A lot of the metal music videos are up there as well. But like I said, for now, tinyurl.com/Tatsumi3. That's the place you want to be.
All right, very nice. Rob.
All right.
Yeah, you can find me on pretty much any social network at Lone Wolf Comics, but I'm only really active on Facebook, X, and Instagram. You can find me on those same three at Rob Multari, lonewolfcomics.com. That'll take you to my website where you can learn about my titles as well as get some back issues in my shop. If you go to snowpod.lonewolfcomics.com, you can get the late pledges for my Snowpaw Volume 1, which is at the printers and should be in by the end of August, early September.
All right, cool. And you can find me on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, DeviantArt, blah, blah. Sunday nights, back here, with various other guests. And this weekend, Daphne will be joining me as a co-host, so that'll be interesting. And then, the other usual group of fantastic indie comic creators we have on. And this Friday, because I can't resist, Dreamweavers #3 will be launching, so that'll be that. So
this is a new one, right? This isn't like
this is a brand new one. It's
right.
a brand new one. It's
Right.
brand new one. Full color, brand new. So just remember, everybody, please check out the show notes. In the show notes are links to all of these creators' campaigns. And all these campaigns are fantastic. These are serious creators who have serious passion for their projects. So please click on those links, buy those books, because that's how you're going to see more of this quality work, right? By buying those books. So please support these creators. And thank you so much, everybody. And remember, read more indie comics, especially ours. Have a good night, everyone. Thank you. All right. Now, if I can find the button to leave. Oh, there we go.
And Mark said, see ya.